So your top tips are create a scorecard, and you need this scorecard, and it needs to involve everybody in this data center before, during, and after the purchase process. Because the last thing you want to happen is that you keep buying from the same guy over and over and over again because you bought from him originally and you didn't get great service. And you in procurement might not know that you didn't get great service because the IT guy might have been over here up till 4 o'clock all morning sweating because it was horrible. But now this is a vendor set up in your system, and in a lot of big companies, it is a pain to get a new vendor set up anyway. And so people keep buying from somebody because it's just not worth the trouble to get a new vendor set up. So this scorecard is definitely going to be one of those things that helps. We need to get rid of this vendor. They were horrible. IT hated them. We need to go with this new guy. It's worth making that step to qualify a new vendor. So in the scorecard, and I have this in electronic form too if you guys want it, you need to understand how thorough the solution was. It's great to be able to get everything from one if you can, but in some cases you might be better getting it off from a couple. Response time, corporate office, where they are, length of time they've been in business, whether they participate in the standards and provide standards-based solution, their relationship, and you need to rate that before, during, and after, again, down to number of locations, distribution locations. If this vendor's great, but they only have sales and support 2 states away, then you probably don't want to score them as high as somebody that has local support, especially for like a generator or something that's going to be more of a mission critical factor. Length of time the solution's been available. Nobody wants to be the new guy. In some cases you do, but usually if a manufacturer wants you to be the new guy, they'll give you the equipment for the case study. That's normally the way that works. Or at least let you try it out in test and development before you put it in. If the solution's going to meet your need, if there's alternate solutions provided, if you're working with engineering companies, installation companies, or any of those, absolutely encourage those alternate solutions. There's a lot of money savings to be had. And then what their hours of operation are, what their escalation is if something happens, quality assurance, warranty support. And I will tell you this, you need to ask how many times they've had a warranty claim. You'd be surprised how many people demand warranties for goofy numbers of years when the products probably didn't. Cisco will be the first to tell you that when times got tough, most people dropped their SmartNet maintenance and they lost visibility to about 60% of all the products they sold in the marketplace because the stuff doesn't break. And so when times got tough, they had to cut down on budget. It was cheaper to buy a piece of equipment and be their own spare parts warehouse and then send it back, fix it and send it back whenever it's done than it was to pay the SmartNet maintenance. And if you have redundant sites, that may be even a better solution anyway, is to stay away from some of those service contracts. What type of a rebate program is, everywhere that rebate touches, same thing with finder's fees, direct pricing model, if they have it, you should always ask for that. Local stock, drop ship, shipping locations, if they have 3PL support, if you're going to multiple locations for your environment. Knowledge transfer, if they're going to charge for that, or if they're going to give you those classes so that your personnel know exactly what's going on. And in a lot of cases, I will tell you this, classes are cash cows for manufacturers. Because all it is you're paying one guy to go teach 20 guys at whatever that cost is, plus the materials. So if you can get that free, that's definitely a big value add right there. And then private labeling, in some cases this is important. You want to be able to private label what the payment terms are, so they should be able to work with you. That solution should be in your environment and working before it's fully paid for. In a lot of cases, if they can do custom development for you, if you do work with them on custom development for tools, for instance, maybe for automated procedures that kick a help desk ticket off if something overheats, and that becomes something that you guys do jointly, who owns that intellectual property? Are there alternate solutions? Clear indication of features that are unique but not required. So you should ask on every one of your RFPs, which of these specifications that you're listing are not part of the standard. And then you can weed out some of that fluff like the 260 mile an hour speedometer, right? That doesn't matter. And then functionality of each one and the relevant standards. And then past the RFQ, then you want to look at the solution support, if the product's received on time, how well the vendor worked for you. If there was a hiccup, how well they supported you. If there was a cost to that. And this is where you really get down to the nitty-gritty of how well that vendor actually took care of you. And then you can decide if you want to keep them as a vendor, or maybe on the next site you want nothing to do with these guys. Or you want to go back to them and say, look, we had these problems. We haven't paid you this last payment yet, but it cost us X. You know, where are you going to be in working with us and recuperating our costs, because it clearly wasn't our problem, hopefully.